Hi guys, Bill, Mufasajeep. We're back home. Heavy's still shiny. We left it for like 10 days and it's still shiny. I don't know. Must not have rained while we were gone. I didn't really check the weather in Florida. But yesterday was a long haul. We drove straight through. We woke up at like 3:10 in the morning and we didn't get home till like 5:25, something like that. It's a lot of gas stops. The Jeep did well. I think we averaged right around 15 miles per gallon in good old Vasa. So I was going to talk about a few things. It was awesome seeing everybody. That's the first thing. It was really awesome seeing everybody. Today, I went down the rabbit hole of seeing some of the locals post. And I think you're going to have idiots in every group. And I don't think it's really good to focus on the negative people that are in Pigeon Forge complaining about us coming. And the guy's whole gripe was more or less what he was saying was us coming there don't help their economy at all. Obviously, he's a very narrow-minded person. Like the car shows that happen in Pigeon Forge bring a lot of money into that area. We know we live in a magnet area. We live in a vacation area. We live in South Florida, and I'm thankful for my job. And I know for sure part of my job is driven by the influx of people coming from other states to visit when they're cold up in Ohio, New York, wherever. I'm an AC guy, and those houses need maintenance. So there's this big trickle down. It isn't just the servers that are getting tips, and it isn't just the hotels that you're staying in. There's so many more jobs there. I mean, if you took away all of the visitors in that area, it would probably become impoverished. And that's just the moral of the story. It is what it is, and that's what happens when you get a few idiots saying a few things. So I said my two piece on that. I'm not going to say any more. I'm a little bit brighter to understand how like the economy works in certain areas. So we could delve into that, and I can go for hours about how much money they make off of the visitors. So, and we know we live in a place that's highly visited because we live in Florida. So, what I do want to talk about is when you leave Pigeon Forge, you immediately start planning for next year's Pigeon Forge Jeep Invasion, the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. And we do the same. We're sad when we leave, but there's local events. So I'm going to go over some of the local events to us in Florida, somewhat local. I mean, we'll go over it. They're a few hour drive, but they're well worth the drive if you need to get that fix. You want to go wheeling, or you want to go hang out with other Jeepers. You want to go to like a bigger show and shine type thing. So I looked today and I kind of got a plan as to some of the things that we're going to really try to do this year. And there's one in October and there's one in November that both seem great and I would really like to attend. And we're going to try our hardest to make it happen. So um, we'll go over to the good old whiteboard. I kept the total for Mufasa. The total's still at $606,098. So there's that. We're going to be adding some stuff to Mufasa. He needs some adjustments, and it's just so that we can take him and he'll be a little better at wheeling when it's all said and done. And I think some of you that approached me, I explained a little bit what was going on with him. Not that it's bad, it's just not dialed in perfectly to where I want it to be. So there's going to be some changes to Mufasa. I haven't nailed down exactly how we're going to make that happen. I have a pretty good idea, but hold on. Sorry. So, phone's going up. Crazy. Anyhow, so we'll go over that once all the parts come in and once I get to that point. We're not there yet. I'm still doing a little bit of research. There's some changes I want to make, and that's all I'm going to leave it there. So we'll be building more on Mufasa here in the very near future. Um, First event, October 9 through 11, Jeeptober in Ocala. We went to Jeeptober last year, and it's some wheeling. It's some real wheeling. And we had a blast. It rained. It was muddy. We were slipping all over the place. But even without lockers, we weren't really supposed to be on the extreme course, and they kind of called us out for it. But they didn't kick us off, so that was a good thing. But we did most of the extreme course in Old Mufasa, which was the 23 Gladiator, with no lockers, because one of the caveats was you're supposed to have lockers to be on that course. We did it. We still had a lot of fun. We didn't tear up anything. We did make the Jeep filthy dirty, and it took a while to get it back to clean. that was a riot. So October 9th through the 11th, Jeeptober in Ocala, Florida. The entry fee is $75, and it's like 3 days of wheeling. They actually had a helicopter last year that dropped like a gajillion ducks out of it into the middle of a field. And it reminded me of like back in the 80s when they would release like a Cabbage Patch Kid, and people would be trying to trample each other for those Cabbage Patch Kids for their child or whatever when I was growing up. So pretty similar. Uh, when they dropped all those ducks out of that dang helicopter, but it was really cool to see. Second one, we've never been, and somebody else hipped us to this. I've heard of it before. November 13th through the 15th is Crawling for the Fallen. It's a $120 entry fee, but this goes to a really, really good charity, you guys. This goes to the families that have lost like police officers or first responders in the line of duty, and that money goes to their families. It's a non-for-profit, and it helps out. So it's for a really good cause. There's also, I watched a few videos. There's some pretty decent wheeling there. There's some mud holes. Seems like there's a lot of off-camber stuff. It is Florida, so like there isn't going to be a lot of rocks or anything like that. That's one thing we don't get like Tennessee does, is there isn't as much of that rock crawling, climbing type stuff. They do put some like I don't even know. They're kind of like man-built concrete pylons laid on their side to get some of that feel, but it's some pretty serious off-roading. You can tear your stuff up there if you're not careful. So we're gonna try to do that one, and then of course the big one. And I don't know what it Crawling for the Fallen is a $120 entry fee, and it's in Land Lakes, Florida. The next big one that we're all looking forward to, we had a riot there last year, is Jeep Beach. April, Jeep Beach is probably the second biggest. It used to be the biggest, but I think Pigeon Forge or Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion really got a beat right now. So it's the 16th to the 25th. The beginning of the week starts off really slow. They do have events every night, but it's more the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of the meat and potatoes of that whole event, and that's when like the I don't know what day the infield for Daytona Speedway is open, but it's one of those days. So it's usually like the last 3 days, and then the very last day, that morning, they do like this big, huge convoy of Jeeps down the beach. We don't do it because usually you're waiting in line for a very long time, and I'm not that patient, and I don't want to sit in a massive line just to go on the beach when you've been on the beach all week. You get to drive your Jeeps on the beach. You got to pay. That's a separate cost. But entry for Jeep in Daytona for Jeep Beach is $100. That's your entry fee to get your little packet and the sticker and a little bit of swag that they send you. So those are some of the things that are up and coming that we'll definitely be doing. Obviously, April is next year. That's in 2027. But we can't wait. We can't wait for more of these events, and then we're going to be doing some more work on the Jeeps, I'm sure. There's always, I mean, it's a Jeep. You got to work on it, right? That's part of owning a Jeep. Is I see a lot of people complain that, oh, dang Jeep, this broke, that broke. Kind of comes with the territory. They're not, we take them off road, we beat on them, we do crazy stuff in them. So there's more maintenance and there's more upkeep to these vehicles, especially once you alter them like we do. So it's part of it, but hopefully some of my channel stuff helps you with your Jeep build. And I was thinking about it. I don't really know where I want to go with this channel. I know I want to grow followers, and I know that I just want to be a positive influence on the Jeeping community. So most of the Jeepers we met in the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion were amazing, and we made so many great friends. It's awesome. So I kind of figured out one direction that I want to go with Mufasajeep, and the one direction is most people have a catchphrase or a line. So from here on out, my catchphrase or my line for this channel is going to be, it's your Jeep, make it your version of cool. So many times I've heard people like ragging on other people's Jeeps. We're not those people. We're not going to rag on your Jeep. You should make your Jeep your version of cool because it's a reflection of who you are. And we're here for that. Like, that was one of the coolest things about the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, is seeing your version of cool. So from here on out, when I leave you guys, it's going to be, thank you for watching Mufasa Jeep. Make your Jeep your version of cool.